couldn't have a better day.
Unknowns Darlene Hart and Jeanne Arth play Brazil's Mario Bueno and Althea Gibson, American ace, at Chestnut Hills, Massachusetts in the United States National Doubles Championships. And the renowned Gibson-Bueno team lose the point. Jeanne Arth serves with a breathtaking upset in the making. The match is even going into the third and final set. Miss Gibson seeks a major tennis grand slam. Victorious previously in the United States singles and Wimbledon singles and doubles, but Althea is into the net. An unbelievable reversal of form by joyful Jeanne Arth and Darlene Hart. The first time in the national doubles that unseeded players have won, but they make a mighty pretty picture as queens of the court.
My whole life really goes back to the way I was brought up. The women were not working at that time, so my mother was a full-time homemaker. We had a good, stable home, and right from the beginning, we knew what was right and wrong. 4 o'clock, some of the fellows would come up and they'd see me sitting around and they hit balls. And even when we were playing, I knew I had to be home at 5:15. And if I wasn't, my dad, I don't know how fellows whistle through their teeth. I mean, I could hear the whistle, and I knew I was late, and I just would come home. And as I was growing up and playing tennis and so on, first of all, you're representing yourself and your family. But then it came to you're representing your school, your job, the people. Minnesota, I represented my city, state, and country.
So from 1948 to 52, you attended Central High School, and then 52 to 56 was St. Catherine University, and neither schools offered girls interscholastic tennis, yet you went on to achieve at a world-class level. Do you think your story would be possible today?
Probably not. There was no interscholastic sports all over the whole country. And I went to St. Kate's, and I had an excellent education there. It prepared me for my teaching career. I was well prepared.
What were some first principles or philosophies that guided your professional work on behalf of school children?
Everybody has gifts or talents. I mean, so maybe I could beat everybody in tennis, but if you had a group of kids out in front of me, I'd say, how many of you can swim? They'd raise their hand. I wouldn't be raising my hand. We all have talents, you just have to find them, and maybe if I had lived over a couple blocks, tennis would not have been my talent. It would have been there, but I would never have known that.
If you had a top 5 highlight reel of your life, what would be some of those most memorable moments?
In 58, that was my best year in tennis. That was the year that I got to the semifinals of the U.S. singles. That's the year we beat Althea Gibson and Maria Bueno. We were unseeded, and so we had to beat all the top players. And then to beat Althea, who was number 1 in singles, and Maria Bueno, who was number 2, and they were winners and runner-up in the singles, and they had won the Wimbledon doubles. And we started out rather poorly. We lost the first set, and I had lost my serve, and then we won the second set. And then it came down to the last set, and we were holding serve and so on. I think I had lost mine, but then Bueno lost hers, and it came down. I had 5-4, and I was serving. And I remember that game. You know, there's only a few games in my whole life that I remember, different shots. And it was 15-love, I was serving, then it was 15-all, then it was 30-15, and then it was 30-all. And then it was 40-30, and I was serving. I remember I served to Althea, and I came into net. And when you come into net, you don't never want to get caught in nose man. You want to get up here. And I got up there, and I mean, she hit the ball to me, and I volleyed with my backhand, and it was sort of in the center of the court. And I think Althea thought that Bueno was going to get it, and she didn't. And Althea couldn't get to it, and that was the end. And then when I went to Wimbledon, that was quite an experience. I was able to get off school, the principal there, a month early. There were no indoor courts, no nothing, so I couldn't practice at all. But the thing about Wimbledon is, I was more nervous because you had to walk so far, and then you had to turn around and curtsy. You had to do this or that, and then if the royal box, if they went out for tea at 4 o'clock, you had to stop. Rod Laver described Wimbledon in center court. He said Wimbledon's the cathedral of tennis, but when Wimbledon center court was a high altar.
What gives you hope for the months and years ahead? What gives you pause?
Althea, her behavior on and off the court was impeccable, and when I look back and think, here, a world champion, she was 1 and 2, number 1 in the whole world, and number 1 in doubles a number of times, and she was treated just horrible. but she was a world champion. But it wasn't Arthur Ashe who broke the ice, it was Althea Gibson. I've just wondered through all this, why isn't somebody like that given recognition? And she's never received that recognition. If it wasn't for her, who knows what would happen. I'll tell you one little quick story too. That morning that we were supposed to play her, and we came down to breakfast, and Althea and I were having breakfast, and she was pouring honey into her tea or whatever she was drinking, and I said, what's that for? And she said, you'll find out on the court. Okay, that was easy to do.
Yeah.